Every day, people make thousands of major and minor decisions. While some of these choices are excellent, chances are that not every decision you make will be ideal. When you look back, you may wonder why you made certain decisions, especially those that did not turn out well or resulted in feelings of regret. While you will continue to make bad decisions from time to time, you can better understand the process that leads to these irrational choices. Many factors contribute to poor decisions. One major factor that affects your decision-making ability is the people around you. In this video, we will discuss how they do this. Understanding how these processes work and influence your thinking may help you make better decisions in the future. Mere exposure effect. Being exposed to something causes us to develop preferences for it. As a result, it is also referred to as the familiarity principle. Being exposed can lead to poor decision-making. Good decisions are made by weighing the effectiveness of all potential courses of action rather than their familiarity. When choosing between alternatives, we should not go with the most familiar option, but with the best one. This is because the best option isn't always the most typical. The ramifications can be severe when the effect is magnified in a societal or institutional context. This cognitive bias may also contribute to the formation of social norms and the reinforcement of social stereotypes. We are surrounded by media messages that reinforce social norms and stereotypes. According to the mere exposure effect, we are more likely to adopt ideas we are repeatedly exposed to. This can make it easier for us to embrace these ideas, which can sometimes be harmful. It lessens uncertainty. Evolution has programmed us to be cautious of new things because they may threaten us. When we are familiar with something, we feel less uncertain about it. We believe something is safe because we see it repeatedly without noticing any negative consequences. If something is advertised in a way that we see more often, then we feel it's safe for us. It facilitates comprehension and interpretation. We can better understand and interpret things we've already seen when we have perceptual fluency. This is because the plot and characters are familiar, reducing the amount of new information your brain must process. Status quo bias. Change can be frightening for many people, which may explain why many prefer the things that stay the same. This tendency is known in psychology as the status quo bias, a cognitive bias in which people currently prefer the way things are. People often perceive changes as a loss or a disadvantage when they occur. So why do people have such a strong preference for the status quo? Several other cognitive biases support the status quo bias. Bias against loss. People consider their options by focusing on what they stand to lose, rather than how they might benefit. Losses loom larger than gains, according to the prospect theory, an economics theory developed in 1979 by researchers Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky. In other words, the potential for loss is much more prominent in people's minds than the potential for gain. The status quo bias can significantly impact a wide range of daily decisions. For example, you might find yourself ordering the same menu item at your favorite restaurant every time you go. Some of the newer items on the menu may look appealing, but you already know that you will be pleased with what you order. So, always practice status quo bias for repetitive tasks, like thinking about which route is best to travel. But do not apply it in performing the challenging tasks, like where to invest. Vision. Visual attention is a fundamental aspect of most everyday situations, and governments and businesses spend vast amounts of money competing for decision-makers' attention. Choice options differ in natural environments based on various visual factors such as salience, position, and surface size. Most decision theories, however, ignore such visual factors in favor of focusing on cognitive factors, such as preferences as attention determinants. Effective responses are emotional reactions to stimuli in psychology. Effective responses occur quickly and are governed in an automatic, unconscious manner by lower brain centers that also control basic instincts, like food, fear, breathing, or blinking. Consider effective responses, the brain's bottom-up response to what you see and feel. Cognitive responses are the brain's slower, top-down, more deliberate responses. They're guided by your cultural perspectives, learning, experiences, and personal preferences, which you know and can easily articulate. Effective reactions give meaning to your experiences, whereas cognitive responses provide a sense of what you see and use. This process can be explained further in a way that we decide to go to a college by seeing their eye-catching advertisements. But after spending some time there, we come to know that they are not a reality. We have been trapped by them. And have you ever thought about why all this happens? Researchers have used the term tunnel vision to explain this phenomenon. In tunnel vision, people force you to do things without considering any broader picture of circumstances. So we do not do any rash thinking and decide quickly. Here, the question arises why people don't use common sense while making decisions. For this, you have to understand the human psychology that everybody wants to be successful in a short period. In doing so, they do not do the proper homework, believing what is shown to them and becoming victims of this tunnel vision. To avoid this situation, you must focus enough on your goal so that nobody can find you free and manipulate your thinking. Also, keep vigilant with the surroundings and think about what you're missing, and if you find any confusion, try to solve it by yourself rather than asking for help from others. Urgency. State or urgency arises when you have limited time relative to the task complexity and the time required to implement the chosen options, but the decision is nonetheless critical. Recent behavioral experiments and observational studies suggest that urgency influences decision-making. We all encounter situations when people offer deals for buying things, and missing that deal seems like a loss. Suppose you purchase a course online. Search for it and see that the company is offering it at a discount for a specific period. So, without proper research on whether it will be helpful for you or not, you buy it. This is the primary tactic that people use to manipulate your decision-making ability. Also, sometimes you watch people's interviews and see the host creating a mere urgency effect. He will panic that you don't take enough time to think correctly and negotiate the problem. But have you ever thought about what makes them do this? They don't want you to refrain from the deal you're working on. Likewise, you may be offered an online job, and you have to respond to it within 10 minutes. But there comes the situation when this urgency becomes the need of the hour. In that situation, instead of asking others, ask yourself a simple question about what value it will add to your life, and then answer it accordingly. Remember that other people's opinions are influenced by their limitations and limiting beliefs. They are not experts on what is best for you. Suppose you rely on others for decision-making, then it will reduce your power and confidence in your abilities. Our culture influences how we work and play, as well as how we perceive ourselves and others. It has an impact on our values and what we consider to be correct and wrong. This is how society influences our choices. That's all for today. If you enjoy watching our content, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a video from us. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again.